up, guys? Mike B from ZAM. I'm here with Debbie Sue from Sony Online Entertainment, and she's going to tell us a little bit about DC Universe Online. So what's the latest news with DCUO?
Well, this year at E3, we have two exciting demos that we're showing. The first one is a huge fight that you, as the player, will have with Harley Quinn, who, if you don't know, is the really crazy girlfriend of the Joker. I think you have to be crazy to be the girlfriend of the Joker. And she's fighting with you in the Joker's hideout, which is called Amusement Mile, this crazy old rotting out amusement park where Joker's taken up residence. Your character goes in to save Robin, who's been kidnapped. In this case, you're playing as a hero, but in our game you can choose to be a hero or a villain. We're also showing another exciting demo, which is a player versus player group battle arena. It's in a Star Labs mining facility where they're mining, well, of course, kryptonite, right? What else? So everybody's fighting over control of that. 8 heroes versus 8 villains. Jump in. It's the kind of battle that you can have anytime in our game. And it's a really high-end battle that has a lot of replayability. And in fact, it really speaks to the whole, the next legend is you, because in this battle, you've progressed through the game to the level where the iconic that you represent has actually not only taken notice of you, but he's bestowed on you a suit with his symbol. So you see that people will be fighting in that level wearing iconic suits that have the bat symbol on them, or the Superman symbol, because that suit was given to them by their iconic when their iconic is saying, hey, I need you to be my proxy. And that's what the game's all about. It's your story in the DC universe.
So as far as gameplay is concerned, PvE, you told us that they're fighting Harley Quinn over there.
Yes.
Is there going to be like open world PvEing? Is there going to be like they could go out, they have an open world, like a city or something like that, they could go and do missions and all this?
That's a great question. We actually have opportunities for people to get engaged at several different levels. There is open world fighting that goes on against iconic characters. When you start the game, you start out on your own journey through the game. You're embarking on your own story, and as you move through that, you're going to come into contact with various iconic characters from the DC universe. You may have Batman jump out to say, hey, can you help me? Robin's been kidnapped. He's being held at Amusement Mile by Harley Quinn. And if you say yes, boom, you're right over there. And that's more of a zone to itself. However, you can be walking down the street and suddenly see, wow, what's that green gas in the air? Oh, it's poison gas. Who's behind that? Come to find out, scarecrows lurking on the streets of Gotham City. That's just an open world fight that you can jump into as you're moving through different adventures and quests along the way. So they're both there.
So how many known superheroes are going to be in this game? Or super villains too? We
have, I think, just over 100 superheroes and villains licensed now, all from the DC universe. And there are so many in the game that it makes the game really fun.
And you could custom design your own hero.
Absolutely.
Or I hear that you can actually make one after one of these well-known superheroes or villains.
That's right. We're making it really easy. If you're a fan and you know a character that you want to make your character be inspired by, you can create, for instance, an inspired by Batman character, and we've created templates that give you the basic elements. For instance, if you want to have a character that's like Batman, Batman has the super movement that's acrobatic movement, right? You can jump from rooftop to rooftop, and he has gadgets as his primary power, so we have that character already created with gadgets. And then we have super abilities, again, that speak to the Batman, but you can certainly pick your own costume. We'll have one that pops up that really resonates to the look of Batman. The same thing, say, if you want to be like Green Lantern, maybe your power type would be from a ring, your power source, rather, would be through a ring, and your power type would be meta, and you would go through the game as the type of hero that reflects the type of fighting style you would see from a Green Lantern.
So how do your characters progress? I overheard somebody talking out there that this demonstration, the PvP demonstration, is people in high level gear, right? And the highest level armor or something that's available.
That's right.
So how do characters build on gear? Because we're used to just seeing like Superman wears his underwear outside of his tights. That's his uniform, you know. No matter how strong he is, he still wears the same outfit, you know. So
right.
How are the characters going to be progressed, and the look of them going to change as they progress?
That's a really great question. When you start the game, you have the opportunity to create a character with any look and costume choice you want. We really have everything from goth-inspired clothing choices to urban streetwear to more traditional comic book style heroes and villains. We have characters that will resonate to the look of Batman, the look of Bane, and even the look of, say, the guy next door. So you can really choose any look you want, and it won't interfere with your power type, or the way you move. As you go through the game, you're going to collect loot and reward items that snap onto your suit, and they add powers and modifications, so they're all valuable as well as cool looking. However, I think the coolest thing about the game is you will always have a virtual closet. In essence, every item that you have is in your virtual closet, and you can choose to wear anything you want at any time, and it won't impact whatever you equip for combat or for power. So you can look any way you want, whenever you want, and yet still have the weapons, the items, the abilities that you want, and it won't impact the look that people see.
So if my purple boots gave me such and such a stat, I don't have to wear the purple boots to get that stat anymore. Is that right?
Right. You can equip the boots, but you can wear something else from your virtual closet.
Very interesting. Now, as far as PvP is concerned, and this is, I mean, we're talking about a ton of different superhero and supervillain capabilities and powers. How do you balance out this so you don't have one particular, you know, like the Flash, oh, well, his power is like OP. I don't want to play PvP with that guy because that particular power is OP, and it's like making the game kind of miserable. So how many hours are we putting into like making sure that this type of balance is there?
Well, I think that's definitely one of the most important aspects of any game that has multiple types of characters and multiple types of powers, right? That's really what you have to do to make the game fun, because certainly we don't want everyone to want to be Batman or the Joker.
Right.
So we work really hard to create opportunities that, although different, are equally as opportunistic. So you can start the game and you can choose one of 3 super movement modes. You can choose flight, you can choose super speed, or you can choose acrobatic powers. And what's interesting is not only are each of them advantageous and maybe in some cases disadvantageous in combat in equally but different ways, but also each one of those super movements has combat-specific opportunities tied to it, where there are certain moves and combos in combat that you can use because you're an acrobat, or you're a super speedster, or you're a flyer.